that.
No filter, you
Hopeless. Speak to that.
I'm not a smart man too.
Faithless. Speak to
I
that.
need answers now.
Speak to that. 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 Hey.
Want some help, hope, or faith? You found the right place. The Speak to That talk show, where there's help for the helpless, hope for the hopeless, and faith for the faithless.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Speak to That, where we give
Hope to the hopeless.
Help to the helpless.
and faith to the faithless.
Yes.
And on today, we have a special guest. We have a inspirational speaker, a best-selling author, and an ordained minister.
Hey.
Kristina Coleman.
Hey, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Welcome.
So, Kristina, you are doing so many great things for women, and we want you to speak to that.
Absolutely. A lot of the things that I'm doing for women right now actually came from a bad place. It came from things that I was going through when I was younger that I had to endure. And at that point, I didn't see purpose behind it. But then as I got older and I started being able to reach out and touch different women and see that my life made an impact, I wanted to do more. I wanted to see how I can help women and kind of help shape their lives in whatever way that I could. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I know you've written a book, or probably a couple of books.
Yes.
You want to introduce your book to us?
Absolutely.
Let us know what you got going on.
Yes, I actually collaborated on a book. The main person is Deshauna Jones, and it's called Perfectly Imperfect.
Wow.
And it is a journey with a couple of other ladies, and we talk about some of those things that we went through. So our struggles, our insecurities, some of those things that sometimes we don't want to talk about because they make us vulnerable, and they put us in a very awkward and uncomfortable place. Well, we uncover those things so we can help other women to develop themselves and to become the best them that they could be.
Wow.
So, yes.
Oh my God, because we know about going through some things.
Oh, yes.
And I ain't saying we don't want to talk to other women because we're afraid.
Yes.
You know, they're going to tell what I said. You know, they're not going to. So that's good that you actually have a platform that you can actually give these women a chance to open up and actually begin to heal.
Right.
So that is the most important part right there. So that is so awesome. And I know you got something else coming up.
I do. I have another book coming out. It's called Healing Rain.
Healing Rain.
Yes,
Wow.
and this goes through a journey of things that my husband and I experienced with our daughter. She has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And when I had her, it was very difficult for us. We had to go through healing in our own lives. So in this book, it talks about the storms that you go through, but how God can bring healing to those areas in your life, whether it be with your child, whether it's marriage, whether it's something that you're going through personally. God can bring that healing to you. So I want to use that also to help other people that are going through their own personal storms, to show them that there's hope.
Exactly.
You know that.
So do you find it hard to, I guess, relate to maybe some stories? Like, you know, someone may come to me and say, oh, my husband's beating me. Well, I can't relate to that. I can say, shoot him. I can't. I can't. But, you know, so you may get those stories that you hadn't really gone through.
Right.
But you find a way to
Get it out.
motivate them to get to that core, because it's probably something within that you can say that'll just heal it all, and it doesn't necessarily start with what the situation is, but the person themselves.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So see, that's what I love about
And
it.
that-
That's great.
And that's good, Christine. I'm just listening to what you were saying, and what I'm hearing as far as the what's coming from you is that how when you talked about you love helping people.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of times, well, my sister always says, Chandlin always says is, you can't be who you are until you know who you are.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we're trying to be something that we're not, because we're trying to hide behind the pain and behind the hurt instead of being who we are and expressing, you know, based on things. That way we can get help, you know, because a lot of people aren't, you know, how can we ever get help? How can we ever heal?
Yes.
You know, how can we ever, you know, be released from anything that we're holding
Yes.
unless we release and
That's
be real.
the thing, and
So-
that's what when we were talking about being vulnerable. A lot of people think vulnerability is a bad thing, but all vulnerability is you opening up yourself
Right.
to show and expose things that you've went through to serve as a help
That's
to
good.
someone else.
Ooh,
And until we can get into a place, especially as women, where we can be vulnerable, we really can't help.
Yeah.
You know, we really can't touch or minister to someone else until we can show them I've been there.
Come on.
I've experienced
Come
that.
on. Come
Let
on,
me
talk.
help you through this.
That's good.
You
That's
know?
good.
Yeah.
Speak to that, and that's why we are
Yes.
here. And I know that there was predestined from God to bring you here on Speak to That, because that is what we need to do. We need to speak to those issues. We need to speak to those mountains. We need, woo, y'all.
Yes.
Let's go. Come on now. We're gonna hear from you. You know, going back to what you were saying about a long time ago, actually going through trials and tribulations is where that came from. The Lord, He said, you can't be who you are until you know who you are.
Yes.
And the only way you're going to know who you are is going through the downward hills.
Yes.
When you go through the downward hills, in order to get up, in order to come back up,
Yes.
you got to come up. My pastor, Pastor Sam, he would always say, when you fall down, grab something when you get up.
Yes.
That's good.
Learn
And so,
something.
yeah, you're going to learn stuff. So, and that's when you get to a place where you understand truly who you are.
That's good.
And it's going through those trials and tribulations. And they, you know, when you do stuff, when you got to beat, when you cooking sometimes, my mama be in the kitchen. Just beat it, bag it up. You know, she's trying to get it tender, right? So that's
Right.
what God is doing within our lives. When we go through trials and tribulations, He's trying to get our hearts tender.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
He is. And it's in our weaknesses where God is made strong.
Yes.
And if we never have those weak moments, how can we really say that we trust God?
you got to talk,
If
Chris.
we have our own strength and we're doing everything out of our own might, how
Come
can
on
we
now.
really say that we believe God to pull us out? Because in that instance, we can pull ourselves out.
Ooh.
Come on now.
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
did he say? It ain't by might,
That's
and it's not by power,
That's
but it's by
right.
His power,
Yes.
says the Lord, by His
That's
Spirit.
right.
Says the
Okay,
Lord.
see,
So I
y'all
get
gonna
what
start
you're saying.
preaching. I'm gonna hear all these ordained ministers up in there. Y'all gonna start preaching on me, but okay.
Well, aren't you a deacon?
Okay. Well, hey, okay, you know, I might throw a little bit up in there.
So, Christine, so what's next? I mean, what's on your mind? What are you doing? What's being creative in your mind?
Oh, okay. So right now I have a page where I'm inspiring men and women alike. So it's called Kristina Coleman, author and inspirational speaker, and it's on Facebook.
Okay.
So I do videos each week, and I share a message of hope, something that will help someone to get to that next level.
That's good.
So I'm really looking at purpose. What is person's purpose? Because in most instances, people go through this life and they do not understand their purpose. They don't even know why they're here. And I don't want people to do that and not really understand why God placed them on this earth.
That's
I
good.
want people to tap into that so they can be the best person they could be, and they can help pull someone else out of whatever they're going through.
And understand why
Yes.
they're
Okay.
going through
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
With all this being said, how can we get in contact with you? So how can you get in contact?
Yes, I have a website, www.KristinaColemanSpeaks.com. I'm also on Facebook, Kristina Coleman, author and inspirational speaker, and Twitter, and also Instagram, Kristina C. Speaks.
All right.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, Kristina, we sure appreciate you coming
Yes,
by.
this was awesome.
and letting
It was
us
awesome.
know, y'all know about all this goodness, all this help and everything. So, like I say, we appreciate you being on Speak to That,
Thank you.
where we give
Hope to the hopeless. Help to the helpless.
and we give faith to the faithless. Thank you, Kristina.
Now I'll speak to that.
Hey, helpless. Speak to that.
No good things to do.
Hopeless. Speak to
I
that.
lost my man too.
Faithless. Speak to
I
that.
need answers now.
Speak to that. Speak to that. Speak to that. Speak to